And how you been?
Yeah, I've been good. Yeah, we've been busy, but good. Blessed, well, good. How are you?
I'm always great, my friend. And we've been live here just preparing for this live. I've had a lot of people on social media asking for an update and an interview from yourself or Setis. So very excited to have you on the show. I have a whole bunch of questions here. So how do you want to do this? Do you have anything you want to start with, or do you want me to go in through some questions? Do you want me to ask you about the news? Obviously, you had some huge news today, the definitive agreement with HLND Holdings. Would you like to start with that? How would you like to start?
On whatever you guys want to do. I see there's questions coming in. I'm open to anything. Rich, you just lead it. I apologize for being late. I was on a different link. I was just sitting there. So,
Oh, I apologize. I don't know how that happened, but we got so many links here. So
no,
sorry about that.
I think if there's a lot of questions, just go ahead and lead us through it, Rich, and I'll do my best to.
Okay, first of all, so this is how we're going to do it. I want to start off with the news today, and there he goes. He's lighting up the tat. That's a tat, right?
Of course.
Of course, he wouldn't be smoking anything else, guys.
No. Yeah.
So there it is, guys. There's the tat, and guys, just so everyone knows, Joe is the founder of tat. Okay, so I want to just make sure everyone understands. Joe is the founder of tat. He knows everything that's going on with tat from beginning to end and everything in between. So he's a great guy to have on the show. We can see lots of people are rolling into the stream. So my first question is the news today. I'm going to read a little bit of it. Pretty big news. I think it can be, probably one of the biggest pieces of news you guys have ever had. TAAT agreement to acquire Ohio-based tobacco distributor becomes definitive. So the agreement to acquire HLND Holdings Inc. is now done. Correct?
Correct.
So what does that mean for TAAT?
Well, it means a lot for us. So this is, I've been back and forth to Ohio over the last couple months and meeting with this company, and it adds a distribution arm to our company. So one of the biggest things that we're doing right now, there's a few things that I want to emphasize throughout this call, and I'm starting to put a little, I'm not the most active person on social media, feeding things, sharing things. A lot of times it's like I'm just engulfed in our world here with our company and our people. But lately I felt like, there's some major points about the evolution of the product that we've gone through from, I think, Rich, it's probably been a long time since we've talked last, maybe, I don't know, year and a half. And the amount of progression that our product has taken from that time to today is massive. And so the acquisition of this company, particularly, this gives us direct entrance into a prime area where tobacco is sold, with relationships that have been established for decades with a wholesaler that is community oriented and focused in this area. And so it's a massive step for us, not only to gain more distribution, but also to test new products. And so I can't understate the importance of that. TAAT isn't, the future of TAAT is, sure, we've got what is the best beyond tobacco cigarette on the market right now, but we're in the infancy of this industry, and we have a long way to go. And so to have this immediate distribution it's a major step in the right direction for us.
Now, the revenues. Can you talk a little bit about the revenues that HLND Holdings is generating on a yearly basis?
Yeah. So this year, HLND will, we looked at, it should exceed 80 million in revenue.
Great. So, because a lot of people have been asking, one of the major questions, sorry to cut you off, but one of the major questions has been, there was record revenue in November, and then December and January, the revenues went down. So one of the fear that investors have had is, why did the revenues go down? And what I've been trying to say, and I would love for you to speak on this, is they're in the process of acquiring a company doing 80 million a year. So the 1 million a quarter you guys were doing, as much as that was nice, this is pretty big news. It's a pretty big deal for a company who was doing 1 million a quarter, because we're talking now about 20 million a quarter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So am I right in my thinking, or am I wrong there? I'm just trying to understand.
No, yeah, organizationally, yeah, the revenue is going to be great. Like our actual vision and strategy for how HLND is going to benefit us as a company is even bigger than that. The revenue is going to be great. Look, on the public company side, and I think you know this about me, Rich. I'm more of I focus on the actual day to day, like where we're going as a company, what we're doing, the actual development progression of the product, because and I think that's the major thing. So to address revenues is directly related to the product, and so I'm going to be putting some videos out about this, but let me show you. Let me show you something here. So I have this here. This is a cigarette. I'm like known for breaking these open.
Yeah.
This is our Beyond Tobacco, and you probably don't recall from the time that we had met last time. This has gone through basically 3 years of development, 3 years of R&D to get it to this point. And I'm putting out something where we can understand kind of what's happened quarter by quarter. One thing I'd say about revenue is follow the financial statements. We're audited by a third party. I mean, they go through and verify receivables if they're late with customers. I mean, the amount of detail in the financial audits that we go through before we report our quarterly financials is it's extensive. So definitely always rely on the financials. But on the business side is we've gone through different versions and iterations. And so I'd urge everybody, if you don't follow me on social media, I'm becoming a little bit more active, and I'm putting some more information out there just about what we're going through as a company. But we're the first company in the world to reconstitute a plant-based Beyond Tobacco product. And so when we first came out with our reconstituted product, kind of like I showed you there, it looks just like tobacco. It looked more similarly to this version here. You can almost tell the difference from what I just held up.
Yep.
And we had some issues. So now when we created the product, it was okay. But once we started producing it at scale, we ended up with some issues that we really didn't want people's first experience to TAAT to be that. So we're going through a transition from what we call as our version 2. Then we had a version 2.2. And then finally, we got into our version 3. And so I make that sound easy, but in the world of manufacturing cigarettes, that wasn't an easy transition for us, especially since we had to replace a lot of the version 2. And so it delayed some of the purchase orders and some of the things that we had in place. But and I'm aware, trust me, I feel the pressure sometimes from like the public company side. I focus on the company, right? But the right thing for us to do was to get the right product out. And so we had to slow it down a little bit until version 3 was, we didn't have supply chain issues and we can fill all the orders and so forth. So now we've got a product where we do not have any supply chain issues. We can pack 2,000 to 5,000 sticks a minute. So compared to our old version 1 product, where we were packing at 200 to 300 sticks a minute, there's a major jump. And it's not just about our manufacturing capacity. It's the actual product. And I would urge everybody on here, like my call to action is go to trytat.com and get a pack. You're going to receive version 3. So the same cigarette that I can talk and talk and talk. And the reason why this burns just like a cigarette and it's still burning perfectly in the ashtray with the integrity to the cherry is because of the construction of the cigarette. That may or may not mean anything, but get a pack, open it up. It'll look almost identical to tobacco, but it will have zero tobacco, zero nicotine. But the cigarette tastes just like a traditional tobacco cigarette. And I would say that it tastes better. I know I'm the founder, I'm all in on this, but like I really believe in this product. And that's why the cigarette is still burning perfectly. Almost if I can send over version 2, you'd understand totally what I'm saying. Then you're going to be like, oh, okay, I see what he's saying about needing to change out this product at that time.
I need to get some of the new ones, but I can tell you guys from experience that I've tried these cigarettes and I haven't smoked in like 20 years. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I smoked the TAAT. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't nauseous at all. Because if it was a normal cigarette, I would immediately feel nauseous. Because I just don't like that cigarette taste. But with the TAAT, none of it. You don't feel nauseous. It actually is quite pleasant. And it doesn't have that stinky cigarette smell that sticks on you. You know when you have a friend, he goes outside, has a cigarette, comes inside, and you can smell it on them? It doesn't do that. TAAT doesn't have that scent. So that was really impressive to me. I was like, whoa, so this thing tastes nice. It doesn't make you feel uncomfortable or nauseous at all. And it's not going to smell like I just smoked a cigarette when I come inside in a public place. So, from that perspective, and that was the old product. So, I can't even imagine how good this new product is. And guys, Joe's the guy who sits in the science lab and works on making this product perfect.
Yeah, and yeah, like even with this deal with HLND, I'm really like, quote me on it. Version 3 is that good, and so and that's really important. What I'm saying is to actually have a product that matches all of the messaging when we're going into the market. Because I think of it like this, Rich. We're pioneering a new product category. It's a brand new product category. It's beyond tobacco, and we're in the process of to get mainstream distribution. It's a process of putting an item into say a gas station or a convenience store. It's a new item. It doesn't matter how excited we are about the product, how many people may be listening to this where the product's saved their life, it's helped them in all these other ways. It's a new item, and we have to prove that product to that customer that it becomes a must carry. And the only way to do that is to have the product turning and have consumer demand. And we have now proven that over and over again now with different major gas station and convenience store chains, where they have given us permanent placement on the back wall. And I know a lot of people may not be aware of this, but there's nothing harder than penetrating that back cigarette wall that you see at every gas station and convenience store. It's not an easy thing to just get in. There's a lot of layers to break down the distribution. And this version 3 product is now proven as a must carry 2 times in a row, and we expect to see the third one in the next week or so with the major chain partner that we have in West Virginia, 171 stores. So really, this is just the beginning. And then we take that data and we can start to really expedite the distribution and the growth of Beyond Tobacco.
That sounds exciting. Now, I've got a bunch of questions I want to start going through. One of the big ones that I've been getting a lot, and I get, TAAT's probably one of the most popular companies that we've ever had on our show. So I get so many messages from literally all over the world. And the people that are really passionate are people in Germany. Like, they are really passionate about TAAT out there. One of the questions that I'm getting from a lot of people from everywhere is TAAT still looking forward to the listing on the NASDAQ? We haven't heard anything about that recently. Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. There's no timeline. That's something that we're working on. I'm not directly affiliated with that. You'd probably have to talk to the right people.
Okay.
But yes, we are working on that. But again, there's no timeline on it. The NASDAQ doesn't say yes or no. It's just a process, and they do their evaluation. They go through everything that you've done, that you've stated, and then they make sure that it's a sound company to bring onto the NASDAQ. And so I'm going to let those guys talk about that. But yeah, I mean, it's still in the works. It's just I'm probably not the best guy to talk to about it.
Yeah, and I appreciate your honesty. And if there's questions I'm going to give you that you just can't answer, it's just best to just say that. That's fine.
Yep.
Because like this next question, for example, and I know it's one that a lot of people want to know. So what happened in the last few months with the share price falling from $3 to $1?
Yeah, like I don't know, guys. I have no idea. I'm going to tell you, I'm not a public market guy. I make awesome cigarettes, and then we sell them to thousands and thousands of customers, and then we change lives. So I'm out there in the streets, and I'm working with our guys, and I'm truthfully to everybody, I don't look at the stock price. So I know that maybe bothers a lot of people as we're on Rich TV, but I don't look at it. I sit here and I work with the people in the company, and we build the best cigarette we can, and we get it as far and wide as possible. So I really have no idea. I'd maybe bring someone else on from the company, bring someone on, I can maybe give you some suggestions after, and then ask some of those questions. That would be
okay.
Yeah,
no, that's fine. And next question is, and this is something that us as Canadians are really interested in. When will TAAT be available for people in Canada, if ever? And would it even be possible to buy online in Canada eventually?
Yeah. So Canada's a little bit challenging for us. You guys have some laws that make it pretty difficult to export the product directly into Canada. And then Health Canada is is Canada's really good about regulating. So like, of course, the FDA is a major government regulation body here in the United States, and Health Canada, but Canada has less people, and they're very effective at regulating the laws that they put in place. And their cannabinoid laws are very strict. And so, CBD being an ingredient in our product, and a very important ingredient that, has been shown to help with nicotine dependency. So I can't say that, like strong enough. Like by having this ingredient in our Beyond Tobacco product, it reduces the urge for nicotine addicts to have tobacco cigarette, which is a vicious cycle. It's a powerful urge to have another nicotine cigarette. Canada's pretty heavy on regulating that. They don't differentiate the difference between hemp and cannabis. It's all cannabis under Canada law. And so it's complicating. If we were to penetrate the Canada market, we would probably have to alter our product a little bit and remove that ingredient, in which case we then could probably sell something similar to the product that we have here, but it wouldn't be the same. So we've looked into it extensively, but right now it's not a focus, just because of the barrier of entry that we have.
Thank you for answering that. And I know that we are going to always wish and hope to get TAAT here in Canada. And Health Canada, if you're watching, it's time for you to push these through. People want these cigarettes. People like these cigarettes. My next question from Amanda: what countries are you targeting next for export?
Internationally, look out for Poland and Switzerland. And then we've got a really key partner we're developing a relationship with in Australia. I would look out for those countries first. We've had conversations with major retail chains in Italy as well. So internationally, our approach is a little bit different because we are a US-based company. The partners that we work with in these specific territories, it's important for us to set up a framework of like having a contracted master distributor, in which, of course, there's terms to be met, but these distributors have a lot of opportunity. And so if anybody listening, certain people in Europe, we do have a director of business development and sales in Europe, phenomenal guy. And we have a team that's out there in Europe that are supporting these relationships. But yeah, those markets are the markets I'd look out for, and coming actually really soon. Likely something's going to close this month in Poland.
Wow. Okay. New countries, guys, to look forward to. That's really exciting. That's something new that I wasn't aware of. Now, one of the questions, and I mean, answer this to your best of your ability: where is Seti? I don't even know how to respond to that, but people are asking me, where is Seti?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's Setis. So Setis dealing with some personal things right now. I don't want to go into his personal business. It's just family things that he's dealing with, and a lot of love and respect for Seti. I've worked with him for a long time. And so, I'm going to let him, when he wants to talk about, what's going on, I'll let him address that. But, yeah, so we're with Seti. We're all, respect Seti, and we hope the best for him. And, but yeah, I'm gonna let him address that. But he's dealing with some family things.
Okay, I totally understand. Thank you for sharing that. Mm-hmm. And the next question: do you already know something new about Austria? The introduction is planned for Q2.
Yeah. Let's just let it happen as it happens. There's some things like this. This is I know you'd asked me about like quarterly revenue and what happened. It's a little bit challenging for me to say matter of fact, is like we're waiting for an attorney notice where we know that in maybe less than 5 weeks we'll get the approval to have the product, because each country has different regulations, different laws. Some follow the other countries. But we should have the like logistics set up for it within maybe the next 5 weeks or so. But likely Poland's coming first.
Okay, very good. And will TAAT start reporting HLND revenues on their books in Q2?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, great. And the next question: any guidance on Q2 revenues?
What do you mean guidance on Q2 revenues?
I guess maybe like an estimate of what it's going to look like or what investors could expect? Obviously, it's
Well,
difficult to predict. So,
HLND is that's massive. So I last time I was out there was maybe a month ago. I was in Ohio and I was with the guys, and we're going through all of our due diligence. But say we're on track for a little over 80 million in revenue with HLND. So our we report in Q2, it's likely going to be somewhere around 20 million or more. Now that's immediately with what we've inked company. We're going to report the revenue. So, but more significant than that, I really mean this, is what we're doing with this product that I I'm I'm sharing with you guys is picking up that much momentum. We're starting to go through 9 to 15 cartons per month. And, not a massive footprint, but it takes a lot of time. I think expectations have to be clear. It takes a lot of time to get consumer packaged goods as far and wide as you see Gatorade sold in every single store, or say Marlboro or Camel and so forth. Those companies have been around for decades and decades. And so I know that we have the right team and that we're penetrating the market in the right way. And so that's I think the major thing for shareholders and people to continue looking at is how much further and wider is our footprint. And then when you see TAAT in, say, your local gas station, smoke shop, local convenience store, talk to the clerk, and then you'll see what I'm saying. We're starting to pick up 9 to 15 cartons a month, average turnover per store per month. And so this is the thing to focus on. The beyond tobacco is the part where if we end up at that percentage of that wall, you start to do the math. What percentage of the total tobacco space is beyond tobacco going to be? Now, granted, our footprint is 1/1000th of what Marlboro is right now in a distribution size, but that's a snowball that starts to really grow as we get more and more hard data, as we take the scan data back over to other major chain stores, whether like AM, PM, or 7-Eleven or so forth. We're going through the process of still dealing with corporate approval, dealing with this. And so there's a lot of steps and processes that we're taking as a company to get TAAT into every major gas station, convenience store, and every independent store in the United States of America. And of course, we have our eyes set internationally too. So that's the major thing to focus on. But yeah, with regards to the revenue, confidently, we're going to be able to report HLND now that the deal's done. So that gives us significant Q2 bump. Yeah,
So guys, to put that in layman's terms, like, we don't know if that 20 million a quarter will be for that quarter because it just got announced today and the second quarter's already started. So let's just say quarter 3. If they're doing 80 million a year, then we're going to be looking at a company that's doing about 20 million a quarter. And that's a big difference compared to TAAT's record revenue quarter, which was 1 million. That's 20x. That's a big difference. So obviously going through that transition is going to take some time, and I can see why it's so important that this deal got done, because for me, as a person that looks at companies, you really took a company that was a startup that had little to no revenue, and you're now talking about a company that's going to be doing 80 million a year in revenue, and you're still just a growing company. It's a good start.
yeah. Thanks, Rich. Thank you.
Hey, I've been here since day one. I always remind everyone, I'm like, my first interview was with Joe when you were wearing your scientific suit. It looked like you're like you're in the science office, and we were talking about TAAT, and it was pre-IPO and it was at 41 cents. And we've seen this go from an idea to a
Yeah.
product that is sold in stores internationally now, and
Well, yeah,
locations
that's
internationally.
that's what I'm here. That's the thing I've been, even internally, I've been saying to the company, I'm going to show you something here. This is
Yeah.
like back in the day when we were working, a lot together. There's all these different versions where it was like almost a hemp cigarette. We're going through all this R&D. This is 3 years of building the beyond tobacco product until we have gotten it to this point where this smokes and tastes just like tobacco. I mean, I can smoke this thing on a blackjack table here in Vegas and nothing. I mean, we're starting to get interest and contracts lined up with even the casinos here to take TAAT around and hand them to people as an alternative for traditional tobacco cigarettes. So I mean, it's really only, there's so much history and so much development, but it's really only the beginning. And so yeah,
And
we're excited. We really feel that way. It's like it's just the beginning.
yeah, well,
Go
I went
go
back to all
great.
my interviews with you. Our first interview was in June of 2020.
Yeah.
It hasn't even been 2 years. So to
Mhm.
think about a startup making no revenue, no sales, not even on a store shelf,
Mhm.
and in less than 2 years, you guys are now just acquiring a company doing 80 million a year.
Mhm.
This is a company that's gone a long way, guys. And now this isn't just an idea or a concept. This is a product that is being sold internationally, being sold in Canada, sorry, in America, throughout America. It's being sold internationally now in other markets, and they're talking about expanding into additional markets as well. So I still think this is a very early stage company. And I think back to, some of the stories like the Teslas. It wasn't overnight that Tesla became a success. It took some time, especially the first few years were really tough for Elon Musk. And now, a lot of times, a lot of people talk about how in Tesla in the early days, they almost went bankrupt multiple times. And here they are now years later, and he's the richest man in the world. And they've got one of the largest market caps in the world. And that one company, because of their innovation, is larger than all the other car companies combined.
Yeah.
That's what innovation is. I mean, it is going to be some tough roads along the way. There's going to be some ups and downs along the way, but I mean, the
I'm
end
literally,
result is Tesla's, the number one electric vehicle company in the world, and Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, and he had to go through his ups and downs. And look at them today. So I love the fact that you guys are being innovative. I love the fact that you've got a product that's different. I like the fact that it's a product that's good. That alone is special. Now it's about marketing it, right? Like marketing it globally is tough,
yeah.
right? Getting in all these major markets is tough. And that leads to my next questions. I already know the answer to this, but I want you to answer this. Is TAAT looking to raise any more cash?
Um, no, not right now. We're in a very stable position. No, not, yeah, not right now. So
Perfect.
we don't want to go through that process right now, and we don't need to. We're having a lot of success, and we're starting to stack off the sales, and we're looking at what we do with those retained earnings, that profit, and how we reinject it back into the business. And at some point, it's likely going to be necessary. Especially, let me emphasize something just so everybody's kind of clear on what I'm saying here. I'm talking about we're in early stage of distribution. We have thousands of stores. We have tremendous proof of concept. The product has gotten to this V3 stage. This is relatively over the last 2-3 months. We're quantitating a lot of data, and we're getting a lot of exciting feedback. That's what I'm talking about. How many cartons per store per month are we selling? Right. These are the important kind of figures and things that I think about all the time. So at some point, we're going to have opportunity to maybe grow faster than our capital allots. Say a massive distribution deal with major distributors like McLean and EB Brown, and they're going to put us into their West Coast division across 27,000 stores. Well, we have to support those 27,000 stores when we launch, like concentrated in this West Coast, say, area. And we're going to have to put a lot of marketing resources, densely populated areas, whether it's billboards, it's videos, it's partnerships with the apps and the consumer facing apps with some of these major retail chains and so forth. And so signage at all the stores, it goes on and on. So once we have so much proof of concept that we are not growth is a matter of capital, and we can just simply click the button and turn on that many more stores to sell the product in, then likely at that time, that's when we're going to look to do another raise. But right now we're very comfortable with where we're at, and yeah, so.
Great. And my next question from Tanya, and guys, thank you for these questions. These are really thoughtful, well thought of questions. And that's why we love doing this. From Tanya, hi, Rich. Can you ask Joe for an update on the status of the patents application? Now, I personally have noticed that TAAT used to say trademark TM on it. Now it's got an R. So I'm assuming something's registered there. Can you give us an update on some of that?
Yeah, so we have patents and we have trademarks. So it's been really important for us to trademark the name TAAT in not just the United States, but also dozens of other countries. It's a pretty lengthy process. We probably started it, 2 years ago, and we're just getting some of like the official trademarks back from Pakistan and various other countries and Israel and so forth. And so, yeah, so, and it does take time. So the trademark will be registered for a period, it'll be pending for a period of time until it's registered. You'll get the clearance, but It takes time. And so that really just shows how long ago we've trademarked it. And now, once it's officially registered, it's ours, including the word mark. And so I think we did the right thing a couple of years ago. It's an expense to go out and protect all of your IP, but it's really important. We believe in the brand name TAAT. Is synonymous with beyond tobacco. And that's our, we're pioneering. It's our damn category. I know competitors are going to step into the space. They're going to see the success over, our continued progression and growth. They're going to see the success, and we're going to have competitors that are going to step in. But this is our market. We've created it, and we're the first mover, and TAAT is synonymous with that. And it's important for us to protect it.
Next question from Jerome, thank you for that answer, is how often does Joe communicate with Debbie Chang, and is she happy with the progress of TAAT? We know that she's one of the biggest shareholders.
Yeah. So normally I'm on those calls. We actually get along really well. But primarily she talks to Setis. And so they go through pretty in-depth updates. So sometimes I'll join the call, but a lot of times her questions are directed towards Setis. We have a lot of love and respect for Debbie, and she's a outstanding person. I think when you meet her in person, you can feel this energy about her. That's and she likes me, so that's cool.
Absolutely. It's a good person to have in your corner.
It's a good person to have. Yeah. She's good to us.
This is a question from Sandra. I'm just trying to roll through your guys' questions. If you have them, please put them in the chat. Joe's a very busy guy. He's not going to be able to be here forever, but we're going to try to hammer through all the best questions. And if you have them, please put them in the chat. So this is from Sandra. Thank you, Sandra. I know that she's a big fan of TAAT. Question for Joe. When will the boxes be adjusted to fit the contents? Currently, the Recon is still packaged with the 50 milligram CBD information.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's like somebody that actually knows what they know.
Yeah, that's someone that, like I tell you, she's all about TAAT.
Yeah, where is she? She's thank you. The packaging has already changed. So of course there's a transition period between this like V1, V2, V3, the things I was just talking about as we've evolved the product. And but yeah, we have all of that new packaging. That new packaging is already in production right now. So everything coming through and changing out as the first in, first out, it's going to take that inventory out. It's already been adjusted. That's somebody that knows their stuff. That's good.
Yeah, there's some really passionate investors in TAAT. Like I said, one of the most biggest communities of really passionate investors I've ever seen. The next question from Riley, I know who has a lot of shares as well, part of our community. Update on the heat not burn product.
So, you know what? I don't think I can show it to you. I just had it here on my desk. So we've got a prototype, and it's not the same base filler material. There's a process to, it's actually, this kind of technology is purposely built that way to create a massive barrier of entry. It's very complicating for other people to enter the space. But I've got the device, and I've also got the sticks, but it is, I won't make a claim as to when it's going to go to market. We're still really in the R&D phase, but we do have a prototype on the device. I was actually just using it a moment ago. And then we've also started working on different variations, different moisture contents, different binders and so forth for the sticks that connect to it. So we're pretty far along, but it's not market ready.
Okay. And the next question from Tom, when can we have pics of the tattoos display?
You know what? I should almost call someone. You guys should see it right now. I know we're live, but I should have someone just bring it in.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, we're here if you want.
Yeah. All right. Hey, let me make a call.
Let's go.
Mike James. Yeah, that's good. I feel like there's people that these are the big things, guys. Hey, so I'm on this Rich TV interview. I'm wondering if you can bring me the tattoos in the display box.
Yeah, maybe see if I'll get them over there.
All right, cool. Thanks. Bye. All right, let me grab one thing. Just hang tight for 1 sec.
Yep. And if you guys have questions, please put it in the chat, guys. Always going to do my best to answer your questions. Told you guys, Joe is like, You know, he's right there at TAAT headquarters, right? So he's the guy that's been working on this product and was the visionary behind this whole idea since day one. This is his baby. This is his product. He literally is building the cigarette. You know, he's literally building the cigarette. So when you guys are asking for the pics of the displays, this is the man that can show us, because he's working on a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
we got to do this more often, Joe. I love having you on the show.
Yeah, actually, I don't mind doing this. I feel like this is, I really do feel like this is like almost a better way to openly have this, and everyone's welcome. I'm just going to share, what I have, but I'm really emphasizing some important points. If you probably go back and listen to what I'm saying, but the tattoos are one of them. So they're going to bring a few boxes in here. We're going to show you what we're doing, but let me just make an important point. So we're taking advantage. We are not a tobacco product, so we are not regulated the same as tobacco products. So of course, there's the benefit to the retailers on the tax side. There's also much more profit for the retailer. So for example, if the retailer sells 1 carton of TAAT compared to 10 cartons of Marlboro, they have to sell 100 packs of Marlboro to say 6, 7, 8 packs of TAAT to make the same profit. So the retailer is incentivized to push beyond tobacco for their own benefit. Of course, that helps us when we work with other major customers and clients. But one of the things is, look, our website is called Try TAAT, and that's purposeful. Cigarette smokers are also, the vast majority of them want to quit. This is a really important point here. They really want to quit, but you don't understand how difficult it is to get off of nicotine unless you are addicted to nicotine. And so the tattoos is a way for us to run promotions with major chains to help get the cigarette smokers to try TAAT. Cigarette smokers aren't really the most likely people to switch. Like, you might have a Coke drinker only drinks Coke, Pepsi drinkers like, oh, hey, but maybe they switch occasionally. For cigarette smokers, that's not really the case. Their brand is their brand. They want to quit. And so just to have an option that gives them everything that TAAT gives them is important. So the tattoos are, this is our way to get the product. Oh, nice. We got them coming in. So this is a way to get the product. Thank you.
Here we go, guys.
All right. So here are the tattoos.
Love it. Just 2 cigarettes in a pack, guys.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, 2 cigarettes in a pack. There are 20 of these per display box, so 40 sticks per display box. And at the retail level, these sticks here, they're very simple little pouch. These go for 99 cents. Nice. So tobacco cigarettes, they can't do that. But what we can do, and at the convenience and gas level, it's also important, guys. Like, what is your cheapest cigarette is asked by about 40% of people that walk into these gas stations and convenience stores. So to be able to get 2 cigarettes for $1, Lucy's, I'll put this in perspective, just in the United States. Now, Lucy's are mainly, they're mainly illegal now. In most states, they pass laws. They don't let you sell single cigarettes under the register. You may go ask a gas station guy and say, hey, here's $1. He'll give you 1 cigarette. But this is a billion-dollar industry, is what they call Lucy's. And so our main goal with this product is 2 cigarettes, $1, but most importantly is to get people to try TAAT. When we get people to try TAAT, they buy TAAT. So, and that's it. I'm just, seriously, these damn cigarettes are so good. So, and you don't believe me, you got to get on the website, get a pack of version 3. I really do like menthol. I like original. That's for me. I know a lot of people do like smooth. But yeah, so that's how they come. They come in these little 2 packs. You got a little pouch, so people can keep the pouch and just bring a few cigarettes with them when they go out, whatever else. But 2 cigarettes, 99 cents. And the vision behind it is to get more people to try TAAT. I'm actually going to light this baby up. I like menthol, so I've been smoking original, but like low key, I think menthol is my favorite now. So
nice. I have another question. This is from Marcel. Do you really think that TAAT as a brand has what it takes to make a difference in smokers around the globe?
Yeah, but it's going to take time. 100%. I'm like I put all my money, everything I'm saying behind this. Like there's absolutely, there's consumer demand and there's a desire to get off of nicotine. and I know this for sure. I've been doing this for 5 years, even well before TAAT. I was one of the first ones to ever create like the initial alternative cigarettes in the hemp space. And so I know how much demand there is. I know how much the alternative cigarette space is growing. And so, yeah, but it's going to take time. It's in its infancy. So I don't know how you kind of pay attention or manage that. Of course, look at our quarterly financial statements will be an important way to kind of gauge that. I couldn't tell everybody what percentage of the tobacco space it's going to be right now, but I'm confident that it will be a percentage of the global tobacco space. And I'm confident that I would say in about 5 years, so where we're at, we're in 2022 of April. In about 5 years, I would say the vast majority of people in the United States and in some other countries are going to know what beyond tobacco is. They're going to know that there are such things as beyond tobacco cigarettes, and they'll understand that it's zero tobacco, zero nicotine. Yeah, so that's how I feel.
All right, I have a question here, and this is one that a lot of people have been asking. Why did accounts receivable increase to almost all of 2021 sales?
That's the same, like it's the change out. So when we're going through the inventory change out, there's a lot of things that we had to delay and push off. And then when we go through these audits too, I mean, I'll get you on with the right person on the financial side, but when we go through these audits, like meticulously, like I'm saying, they're going through all of our accounts receivable, all of our accounts payable. So if we got a purchase order at a certain date and we input the order at that date, but we had to delay it until version 3 was coming off, and then we were filling other orders on version 3 as it started to roll out, then we would have to move some of those orders based on proper accounting practices. So that's really between the V2 and V3 change. I mean, they do what they do. I don't do on that side, but so they just had to figure out how to make it work. So
Okay, I understand. And the next question from Christoph: do you have any results from the Hackney pilot?
Yeah, we do. So if any of you guys are in West Virginia and you go to there's a customer there of ours, 171 stores. They're called Parmar. We actually have business development reps that are out in the street that are doing activations at the Parmar store, so introducing people to TAAT and so forth. We also have the tattoos in those locations. Yeah, there's some things with Hackney that, out of respect to them, I want to not disclose their information, but we're happy with the amount of orders that we've received. And we anticipate obviously more orders to come in more frequently and higher volume. And so, but Hackney is one of those customers that they like, we're not going to talk about them too much out of respect to them. It's kind of how it goes. And we can't just come out and say every major person, we want to ask them for permission if we can talk about them and use their reputation and so forth. And so, but yeah, a lot of respect for that company. They're really well organized. I really enjoyed visiting with them in Tennessee, and then where we're at today. So if you're in West Virginia, go to the Parmar stores and go ask them.
Now, this is a question from CC. It was said that the UK sold out. Were they replenished? Did you have you refilled those orders with the UK?
Yeah. There's. So in the UK, there's some regulations that we're looking at, and there's some government notices that we're looking at. If anybody knows anything about the CBD laws in the UK, it's a $1 billion industry, but there's also some gray area in how it's written. And so there are some things that we're working out, but the product's moving just fine in the UK.
Next question. CC's got a lot of them here. I'm going to try to answer as many of your questions as I can, guys. Some of them are redundant, so I'm not going to go through that. And Joe isn't speaking too much on the financial side of stuff because he's just not his area of concern. So I'm not going to ask him too many of those questions. I'm going to try to keep it to stuff that I think that is in his wheelhouse. But this question here is a good one from CC. The 80 million that HLND is doing, that it was selling Marlboros and Twinkies, how much TAAT can you move through HLND? So I guess the question is, are they going to still retain that 80 million a year? And are you guys going to now, are they going to really grow their revenues by now pushing the TAAT product? is there going to be any change in focus from what made them 80 million before, or do you guys just add to what they were currently doing? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, we add to what they're currently doing. So they're going to go from 80 million and they're going to grow year over year. With HLND, we're going to look at other alternative products. That'll be a focus of ours. We think about it in X amount of square footage in the warehouse needs to start transitioning over to some of these other higher profit alternative goods. It allows us to quantitate and take in that data and analyze some of these other areas of where there's other alternative products. And so, so we're going to keep the 80, and I'm very confident that TAAT as an add-on, of course, there's a lot of things we're going to be able to innovate and evolve and create other maybe brands or different flavor profiles or develop around the beyond tobacco products. But yeah, it's going to be 80 and it's going to continue to grow. And I'm confident that the profit is going to continue to grow too.
Fantastic. And the next question from Top Stocks, question for Joe: what are TAAT's customer acquisition costs?
So that's a good question. We're pioneering a new product category, like I said earlier. It's hard for us to, it's hard for me to give you an answer on that today. It depends. Like if we're looking at, trytat.com, and the website is one of our focuses to get the, more people to try the product. It's a little bit easier to break that down and quantitate it. But when I talk to you about, say, our business development reps that are out in the streets that are introducing people to TAAT every day, while I'm talking to you right now, they're in West Virginia at a store talking to people. We have 2 teams out here in Las Vegas at the Speedy Mart locations, which we just went from new item to must carry with permanent placement on the wall. They're out there talking to people right now. And there's an expense that's associated with that hands-on approach to get the message of TAAT out there, but we've seen it become highly effective. Not like that's the only means, but it would be hard for me to give you an exact answer today. But that's something we'll look at. I think we can easily quantitate that on the website for what we spent and how we kind of funnel in traffic and what the cost of that is. But I couldn't tell you today.
Okay, great. And from Ravi, thank you for being here and asking so many great questions. He says he lives in Houston and was excited that TAAT will be rolling out here. When should I expect TAAT to be selling out in Houston?
Likely. So about 2 weeks ago, maybe about 10 days ago, the seating. We've gotten damn good too. We got 180 displays out in about 6 days. So that's 180 pre-built displays. So we like premium placement. We like to get the TAAT display right on the register next to, say, 5 Hour Energy. We got 180 displays placed in about 6 days. That's the point of sale material, posters, table tents, a lot of material that gives the message of TAAT. And then we consistently service these stores. So we have a master distributor in Houston. First 30 to 60 days, it takes a little bit of time to get the momentum turning. We've seen it at about 60 days to 90 days. There may be some stores that are going through more volume than other stores, but it takes about 90 days to become like a must-carry product. And so there's 180 locations. We still have our store locator. That is kind of a tedious pain in the ass to maintain. But we do have our store locator. So look for the locations that come up if you're in Houston and go talk to the stores. Because I think you're going to understand and see exactly what we see, which is people like the product, people are buying the product. In some locations, you have carton customers that are coming in, but we need to get the message out there further and wider about the power of this product and what it does to benefit people.
Next question is, how did the 7-Eleven convention go, and any big deals coming up from that?
So the 7-Eleven convention, the first one we went to in Pasadena, California, went really well. It's different. These are franchise owner association trade shows, and they're geographically located. So say we're in the FOASC, so that's Southern California. We inked 39 deals with 39 stores. We have guys that are in Southern California that are delivering those pre-built displays that I was just talking to you about. They're delivering them this week. Even while I'm talking to you, they're out there in the streets delivering them. Logistically, that's a problem. Anybody on here that knows about distribution, and there's a little bit of obviously we want a DSD distributor to do the ongoing servicing and to be able to service the stores. But the other thing is that the association, they love the product. They love what we're doing. And so the association, they also verbally committed to a certain number of stores. And we're working that through the chapter president of the Association for Southern California. The logistics, we got to get the distributor in place that's going to be able to service them, that these chains of 7-Eleven stores utilize. But yeah, so there's a lot of progress. And we've also been accepted by the association that's in Nevada and Arizona. We've been accepted by the association that's in Northern California, and also the association that's in Chicago. So this doesn't mean that we're corporate approved. I'm just sharing all the facts with you guys. Doesn't mean that we're corporate approved. We still have steps, and it takes time to continue to kind of build that momentum. But I'm confident that after, like I said, 60, 90 days, we go from new item to must carry. We do it every single time. So every time that stacks, it compounds positively. So, but yeah, it's a step in the right direction. But there's I think 9,500 7-Elevens. If I'm wrong, someone just tell me I'm wrong. In the United States, I think there's tens of thousands internationally, but about 10,000 of them here in the United States. So it's step by step. It's local territory by local territory. Then those associations will talk to the other associations, and so it's a hard franchise to penetrate. It really is. But once you get in and we're corporate approved, then it becomes much easier.
Okay, great. And New Jersey just allowed cannabis sales. How soon will you be there?
I actually think very soon. So look out. What I would tell everybody is look out for Florida and New Jersey. Those are two big markets for us that we're focusing on upcoming. And so big opportunities, big distributors, big partnerships that we have in those areas. And similar to Houston, I just told you guys, we put 180 display cases out in 6 days. We're going to be just as militant in New Jersey and Florida. So those are the next two areas for us. Those are big points of focus.
A lot of people are asking about the profit margin of HLND. Do you know those numbers? Do you have any idea if they're profitable right now, or if there is any profit margins whatsoever with that 80 million?
Yeah, of course it's profitable, but it'd be better to get somebody like Joel. And he's like a human calculator. The guy's incredible.
Yeah, I know Joel. He's a very, very sharp guy.
Yeah, I'm like a culture leader here, guys. So like we start asking me about, too much stuff. It's financially, but no, yeah, Joel's terrific. I think Joel would be the best person to answer that question.
Okay, and this is our last few questions, guys, because we've been live for almost an hour. So we're going to try to keep this to an hour. We only got 4 minutes left. This is one of the last questions I'm going to ask. Can Joe comment or give any color about ongoing volume of sales orders being generated by the 2,500 plus existing stores, say like on a monthly basis or something like that? Or can you even comment on how many stores you guys have right now? It's another question that's been asked a lot.
Yeah, so we're pushing closer to almost over 3,000 stores. It's like everything I say, there's real world work behind it. Like I really have two guys, and I like these guys. They're out there in the streets, today in Southern California, putting those display cases physically in all of those stores that we just closed from the Pasadena show the week before. And there's still the 100 that have to get out through a different distributor we're using on the West Coast. So, and a lot of our sales now, since we've gotten version 3 into the market, are reorders. And that's one of the most important things that we're focusing on is reorders. And so, hopefully I answered your question. I don't, our monthly sales are growing. We're confident about that. Yeah. And we're also focused a lot on reorders. That's a major point of emphasis for us. So, hopefully I answered your question. I don't know. It sounded like you asked me too, stores and something else.
Yeah. Like there's, was a question about how many total locations you guys are in.
Yeah. Yeah. We're pushing just a little bit under 3,000. We should be over 3,000, maybe next week or so once we get done seeding in some of these other markets.
Great.
And look out for, Florida and New Jersey.
Okay, this is my last question, guys, and we're running out of time, but thank you, all of you, for being here. Well over 100 members watching from all over the world on multiple devices and multiple platforms. You're hearing directly from the founder, Joe Deighan of TAAT Global Alternatives. The last financial showed revenues just under $500,000 for the quarter, and I'd like to know what percentage, I don't know if you know this, but maybe an estimate of revenues came from B2B and D2C. Any idea? Kind of what the breakdown is?
So they're saying direct to consumer on the last one?
Yeah, so business to business and direct to consumer.
Yeah, I would say, here's 98% is B2B.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So don't, like, I know we are focused on the website and maybe trying to get that reach wider, but you need to be cigarettes need to be sold at convenience, and they need to be accessible. To buy cigarettes online isn't necessarily the best strategy in our opinion. Of course, that is an area that we're focused because we need more people to try the product, but we're actually proud of that say 98% of that revenue that we're reporting is B2B. And that
which is just like gas stations and convenience stores.
Yeah.
And that's where people buy their cigarettes, guys. Like, I don't know anybody that buys their cigarettes online. Like, let's be honest. Like, my friends that smoke cigarettes, they need a cigarette, they go to the gas station. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what people do. So that's where most of the sales are going to happen. And that makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm going to give you the floor here, Joe. Thank you for being with us. I know you're super busy. Congratulations on all your success thus far with TAAT Global Alternatives. Joe is the founder. Anything else you want to leave everyone that's here with today before we say goodbye, Joe?
I appreciate it, Rich. No, I mean, hopefully we've covered everything, guys. The only other thing that, I'll try to put some more content out. So feel free to follow me on social media, whether like Twitter or LinkedIn, or I am putting more content out about TAAT and some of the steps, because I'm out there in the streets and I'm working with the guys and I'm at the trade shows and I've talked with the team here and they're like, hey, people do want to hear from you more. So I'm trying to make more of an active. So by all means, go follow me there. The last thing that I'd say is we're pioneering a new product category here. So all the support, all the positivity. I mean, seriously, by all means, email us. If you have contacts, you have friends, you have, people that own chains or convenience stores. There's a lot of us that believe in this beyond tobacco, and to have even more outside support would be terrific. So, but we're very excited. So we had a major company milestone. It's like I shared with you at the beginning of the call, is that it's so significant, guys, to go from a new item to a must carry in a major convenience chain. That's so much proof of concept for beyond tobacco. I don't feel like everybody's celebrating enough. I know it's one of the strangest times in company history for me with everything that's going on. It really is. This interview is significant to me, Rich, because it's like a marker from not just last time, but it's where we're going, and to have that proof of concept and to prove it in the streets, like at the convenience, at the gas stations, to be going through that many cartons per month in these locations is very significant. It's going to take us time to expand that distribution footprint, and are people going to really know what beyond tobacco is? Like I said earlier, maybe 5 years. The industry is in its infancy. We're pioneering it, but I know that it's going to be, it's a product category that everybody's going to know in the coming years, and we're going to lead it.
Thank you so much for your time today. The founder of TAAT Global Alternatives, Joe Deighan. I must remind everyone that Rich TV Live is strictly for information, education, and entertainment purposes. Please do your due diligence, do your research before you invest in anything we talk about or discuss here on Rich TV Live. In saying that, we've been with TAAT since day one, pre-IPO. We've been rocking with them. They've been a huge winner for our community. At its peak, it was up 15x. Congratulations to investors that got in. Now we've seen it come back down to these earlier levels where it first started. And the question now is now the time, if you haven't got into TAAT, is now the time to start positioning yourself in TAAT? I'd love to know what you guys think. If you like these videos, comment on the videos, share the videos, subscribe. This is Rich from Rich TV Live with the founder of TAAT Global Alternatives, Joe Deighan. Thank you for joining us today, Joe.
Hey, God bless you. Thank you, Rich.
Always a pleasure. If you're not winning, you're probably not watching. We bring in the winners just like TAAT, and we bring them to you first. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great day. It's your boy Rich from Rich TV Live with Joe Deighan saying, we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.